Hello and welcome back to the Turtle Wins the Race Home-Based Business Podcast. My name is Kara Buntin and I've owned a home-based business since 1999 in various forms, so that's what we talk about here. Now today I want to tell the story of my new sewing machine, all right, and my old sewing machine, and how sometimes you think you know what you're doing, but apparently you don't, and things have been going along fine. So it's like, okay, it works, but I could have been getting so much more out of these machines. All right. So the story is I have a baby lock, which is it's a good basic sewing machine. It's not like got all this special computerized stuff on it, but it's a quilter sewing machine. So it does have things on there that I never use because I didn't know that they were there. And I've had this machine for 10 years, 15 years. It's been quite a while. And I don't sew that often. I don't sew as much as I used to, but I will get the machine out and do basic things with it. But I decided that I wanted to learn machine quilting because I used to do a lot of quilts by hand and quilt everything by hand, but I can't do that. My hands are old and decrepit now. So my fingers go to sleep. I can't do it. So I thought, well, yeah, I'll learn machine quilting. I have a quilter sewing machine. Okay. And I actually went and looked at the manual. And oh my God, this machine does so many things that I had no idea. I had just been using it to sew things, just basic sewing. And I learned how to sew when I was in high school to get out of PE because I went to a school. It was like I was a day student at a boarding school that was local. So it was a boarding student school, lots of boarding students, and they had to keep them busy after school. So we had required after school programs. And I was a day student, so I didn't live on campus, but I still had to do the programs because it was required for everybody. And you had to do some kind of PE or theater. Okay, so guess who doesn't like PE? Me. No, I'm not interested. So I said to my mother, I need to do theater, but I don't like acting. So I need to learn how to sew really fast so that I can say that I can do the costumes. And that's what I did. Okay, so I ended up doing costumes. I did costumes in college. That was my work study job. So I have sewn for, since I was 15 years old. I have sewn 14, 15, I don't know. And I have never paid attention to the manuals of these machines. And I know all the people who sew professionally now are going, oh my God. Yeah, I never, like maybe once every 2 years, I would clean the machine out. I'd pay attention to it. And I thought I was doing a good job, you know. So I was sewing along with my baby lock and I was like, wow, this machine will do so much. I didn't know. So I learned one thing and I kind of did that for a while. And then I would forget about it and I take it out and do some more stuff. And I think I told the story a few weeks ago because I actually went and bought another one because I was sewing along with my baby lock and it just went and it locked up. And I wasn't even doing anything tricky. I wasn't forcing it to do anything, which I have been known to do. And I had to take it in to get it serviced. And on the way home, I stopped at the Bernina store and I got a Bernina, which is another basic. Don't get all excited. Okay. You know, it's a good, solid, basic machine, but it has like this little computer screen on it. And I'm going, okay, but I brought it home and I finished the project that I was doing when the baby lock quit on me. And then, if a couple weeks later, I went back and got the baby lock when they fixed it. They said basically it was just locked up. It just needed to be oiled and maintained. And I said, how often are you supposed to bring these in? And she said, oh, every 6 months if you sew a lot, and at least every year. And I was like, okay. I mean, I have never taken that machine in for servicing or just to be. I just don't. But it's been working. And this is my point that sometimes things work and you're getting what you need out of it, but you're really not maximizing your results. And you don't realize that you're not maximizing your results because things are just going along okay, no problem. But you could be getting so much more out of it. All right, so back to the Bernina. When I bought the Bernina, I'm thinking I'm going to buy it and I'm going to go home. No, you buy it and then they sit down and go through the checklist with you and give you the base. And I was like, do I have time for this? I guess I should. I should listen. I should pay attention. And she's showing me how to oil the bobbin case. And I said, how often am I supposed to do this? And she said, every time you sew. And I was like, what? Oh my God. You guys, I abuse these machines. All right. So anyway, I learned some things about maintaining your sewing machine that I did not know. And I felt like, okay, I probably should not be touching this machine now because she's treating it like such a precious entity. And I'm just like, it's just a machine. But anyway, I got home, and about a week after I bought it, they sent me an email, and she had said something about beginner classes, right? For people that just bought their new machine. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to go to a class. Okay. But I I thought to myself, all right, I got the email and it said sign up for classes. It's three nights, 3 weeks in a row, and we'll teach you how to use your machine. And my first impulse is like, ooh, a class, I have to talk to people. No, I don't want to do that. But then I thought, like I said, I'm probably not getting nearly as much out of this machine as I could be getting. And all I have to do is go to these free classes and they will teach me the basics. Okay. So I signed up for a class, and the other night I went to my first class, and oh my God, I I just there were only two other women there who were learning their machines, and I think both of them have other Berninas, so they were familiar with it. I was not familiar with a Bernina; I'd never used one before. And the instructor's going over all the stuff that this thing can do, and then she got to the feet. Okay, now if you don't sew, the sewing machines have what's called a presser foot that lowers down from the machine. You lower it down and it kind of cushions it, it holds the fabric in place while you're stitching it. But there are so many feet. And I'm like, how many feet are it? She said if you want to invest in something, you could get the big book of feet, and it goes through every foot you can get, and it only costs $120. So ask for it for a Christmas present. And I said, how many feet are there? I'm like, how big is this book? And she said, oh, so many. So what the heck? I use the same foot pretty much for everything, or I always have. I learned how to sew on an old Kenmore, right? So this was not that was no that was a real basic machine. And when I was doing costumes, in a costume shop, you use industrial machines, and it's basically like it sews a straight stitch. That's it. So I never paid attention to any of this. I never paid, and oh my God. So she's going through this machine, and I'm like, which button do I press so that it makes the quilt for me? Because it seems like I could just press this and walk away and it'll do everything. And I can come back and there'll be a full done quilt right here in front of me. I got, I mean, I my mind was blown, honestly. And my point is that a lot of times you think you're doing everything because you're getting a result. You're getting a good result, or it's okay, right? It's an okay result. It works for you right now. But if you just put a little effort into something, there might be a lot more that you're missing and you don't even know. And if you're getting the result that you want and you're fine with that and you don't care, then that's fine. Go ahead, right? Just take your machine in every 15 years for servicing when it locks up on you. But if you really want to get the most out of anything, do a little research to see what you're missing, because I guarantee that you're missing something. And I keep coming back to Pinterest because I've been spending a lot of time on Pinterest, but it's the same thing with Pinterest. People will say, I tried Pinterest, it doesn't work for me. And, I'll say, well, how long, what did you do? Oh, after a couple of weeks, I wasn't getting any impressions. I wasn't getting any traffic or any sales. So it doesn't work for me. And I'm like, okay, Pinterest takes a lot longer. Like it takes months. It doesn't take 2 weeks. And then I would say, let me see your Pinterest account. I'll see if I can give you any suggestions. And I go over and they've got, like, they're just pinning images from nowhere with no keywords. And it's clear that they did not get the most out of it because they didn't know. They just think I'm pinning this, I'm hitting a little pin button and it's going on Pinterest, so I'm doing my job. That's not how it works. It's the same with any social media platform, to be honest. I mean, if you think about Facebook, Facebook has so many things that you can do on Facebook that people just don't take advantage of, or you don't have time to, honestly. But there's so much that you can do on any of these social media platforms that you probably are not aware of. And if you knew about them and you knew how they interconnect, you'd probably be able to get a better result from them. And it's just a matter of deciding, I want to learn more about this, because generally I would say if something is working well for you, then look at that. Look into that and see if there's more. Because if you already have a good basis of traffic and sales coming from something, or even just traffic, you might have a lot of traffic but no sales. But that just means that you're missing a piece somewhere. So if you have already something starting on a platform or with whatever, and you're getting a decent result, look into that a little bit more, because you already have a foot in the door. There's no reason that you have to be on every single platform or do every single thing and be an expert in every single thing. That's impossible. But if you have a platform or a sewing machine that you're getting a good result from, it might really benefit you to take a class or just take some time to look into that. Because even if you pick up one tip from one random YouTube video somewhere, that's good. That's time well spent if that helps you get a better result, right? So I am going to continue learning my Bernina sewing machine. Oh my God. And I'm also going to learn my baby lock sewing machine that I've owned for, like I said, 15 years or something. And I'm actually going to learn how to use it. And it's I feel like I've wasted a lot of time because I could have been using, but it's not like I've been doing a lot of sewing. But yeah, just think about the things that you're getting a good result from and put a little more time into that and see if it doesn't improve just by paying a little more attention to it. Because I think basically we just get complacent and we're like, oh, it's working. It works for me just as I need it to. And so you don't pay attention to it. You get complacent. You keep doing the same things. But if you change your approach a little bit, then you might get a better result. And if you learn a little bit more about whatever it is, you might get a better result. So think about that. Look around for the one thing that you think you might be able to get a better result from. Learn a little bit more about it. See what happens. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave me any questions, and I will talk to you later.